Meeting to order, call this meeting to order. Boom, boom. Let's see, I think it's Mike Ahern's turn.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have our nice tree, I see. Somebody put that up.
Where are the presents?
What's that?
Where are the presents?
Not there yet, I guess. All right, so we are going to approve minutes first of our November 28th non-public work session. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
John and Bill, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 And our regular meeting of November 28th
So moved.
by John
Second.
and Bill, same scenario. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved. And then we have the special non-public meeting of December 5th, 2016, for which the minutes were sealed. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
I think Mike beat you to it,
Yep.
so by Bill and Mike, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we also had a special work session December 5th, 2016, same date, but unsealed minutes, or not sealed minutes, I guess I should say. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Which I don't actually see here.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was reluctantly saying, so moved.
Kathy, do we have let's see, it would be non-public. This is a special work session December 5th. Unless,
Wasn't that
I
the
go-
same meeting?
Yeah, it was just a...
I'm sorry, it's right here. I had it on the back of something else. Select Board work session December 5th.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're here. Do you have that, John?
Yes, I do.
What was that? Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't have the other one, though. I thought that's when we were voting on.
That was the one that gave us.
Okay. Yep.
All right, so do we have a motion to approve
A
this
motion.
one? By Bill
Second.
and Mike, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that takes care of that. We are not going to have a meeting on Monday, the day after Christmas. So our next meetings will be on January 9th and January 23rd of next year. And of course, as usual, the work review sessions are prior to that meeting at 5. There's also going to be a special town meeting on January 18th regarding appointing the Select Board as agents to expend from the Highway Material and Handling Capital Reserve Fund. And I think that's what we're having our public hearing on tonight at 6:15. So in 7 or 8 minutes, we're actually going to have a public hearing on that. These meetings are held here, of course, and if you'd like to be on the agenda, it's best to notify the town hall before noon on the Friday before, if possible. The town office will be closed Monday, December 26th, in observance of the Christmas holiday. I have no comments, no plaques, no correspondence, but we have an appointment of Chris Buckley to the Planning Board, and Mr. Buckley has written a letter dated December 9th, which says, "Dear Select Board members, excuse me, my name is Chris Buckley. I'm a resident of Plymouth and have served on the Conservation Commission for the past 2 years. I moved to Plymouth from southern New Hampshire in 1977 and except for a 2-year grad school hiatus and some time spent living in Holderness, I have remained ever since. I am deeply attached to our town and have a desire to serve our community. I recently learned of an open slot on the planning board and would very much like to be the Conservation Commission representative. I have sat in on a planning board session and recently met with Sharon Penny in order to get a full understanding of the responsibilities that would be involved. I am willing to take on these responsibilities and feel I could contribute positively to the board. I hope you will consider me for this position. Thank you, Christopher Buckley of Texas Hill Road. So I guess we would,
Sharon's here to offer her support.
all right, well, let's get do we have a motion?
I move that we accept Chris's intention to join the planning board.
All right, and is there a second to the motion?
I will.
By Mike. So we have a motion from Bill and a second by Mike. Any discussion?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Is Rebecca leaving the board, or?
No, Rebecca has left the Conservation Commission. Rebecca Hanson was the representative to the Conservation Commission, which is, a statutory obligation if, they intend to send someone. And this gentleman seems to know his stuff and looks like he'll be a real team player. So that'll make a full complement because we lost Andy McDonald, Mike.
Yep.
So this appointment is actually to fulfill an unexpired term of a member that had to leave, so it would be good through April 2018.
So Rebecca will stay on the board then?
Yes.
It's just a
We'll have a full
regular?
complement, which will be great.
Okay.
Any other,
I know and like Chris, and I think he'd be a great asset for the board.
all right, anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, so Chris Buckley is appointed as of today, I guess, right? Since it's not quite 6:15, do we want to skip over to Ann Abear? Is she going to, maybe you've got like 2 minutes until 6:15.
Before you have a purchase order for KB Partners, this is going to be an addendum to Phase 2 of the Bell Road project. After looking at all the paperwork, Mike Finale, who was our engineer, went back. He was actually quoting us on a project that the old highway superintendent had put in and didn't have a chance to look at everything. So this additional amount is for Phase 2.
So, I don't get it. So, it's 23.3,
23.3 is the additional amount for Phase 2.
making it I see.
A
So it
total of
was
38,
14.7.
It's going to be a total of 38,000 for Phase 2.
So you're saying when he gave us, or when somebody gave us the number of 14.7, it was based on mistaken information or erroneous information?
What he had for information in front of him at the time.
Yeah. All right. And where is this money coming from?
It's coming from a grant, Homeland Security grant.
And this is not an issue? I mean, it's unanticipated, it seems, or a little bit of a surprise is
Nope.
not
We're
a
good.
problem?
We're still fine. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we got funding.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion to approve a purchase order for an additional 23.3 to KV Partnership for Engineering on Bell Road?
So moved.
By Mike,
Second.
by Bill.
Beat ya.
Any discussion or further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All unanimous votes tonight.
Just give you a quick update on the two projects. Phase 1, the design is complete, and that's 850 feet in off Route 3A. And Phase 2 is from that point to the top of Texas Hill Road in that area. That survey is complete. Design is underway. We have a little bit more surveying to do, which is what this purchase order will cover.
Is that ongoing now,
It is, even in the snow.
even in the snow?
I just need someone to sign this new agreement, accepting that.
So this is the contract that was signed before with the new number, is that?
Right.
There you go. Thank you. And I would say, is it 6:15? Can I go by that clock? 6:14:30. Do you have anything else you wanted to add, Ann, before 6:15?
I just have some information for the public hearing, so.
Okay. It's 6:15 on that clock. Are we good? So it's 6:15. We have on our agenda tonight a public hearing to discuss a proposed warrant article naming the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from the Highway Material and Handling Capital Reserve Fund. I will open the public hearing at 6:15. Should I read this? I've got the Select Board handout. Does anybody want the handout? Is that what we're going to do?
I'm gonna read it.
I'm going to read it? Okay. So, we can do that. Well, the Plymouth Select Board welcomes all present and those leaving for this public hearing. Wish to explain what it is that we intend to accomplish at this public hearing. The purpose is to allow the Board of Selectmen to become spending agents for a capital reserve account that has previously been established, known as the Highway Material Handling Equipment Capital Reserve Account. The Highway Department has become aware of an excavator that it would like to purchase and feels that this is the best use of the capital reserve fund. The cost of the equipment is $137,500. And someone has given me an explanation of how we can afford this. We called a special non-appropriation town meeting for Wednesday, January 18th, 2017, to be held at the town office. So this is a special town meeting at 6 p.m. for the purpose of designating the members of the Select Board as agents to expend from this capital reserve account previously established and raised through taxation for the purpose of material handling equipment. The total funds in this capital reserve account right now are $100,112 plus $25,000 that will be going into that account from this year's regular town meeting appropriation, totaling about $125,000. Following this public hearing, the Select Board plans to move forward with a special town meeting to allow the funds to be released within the 2016-17 fiscal year. Is there any public comment?
Public thinks it's a good expenditure of funds that have been allocated to that, and I believe that would be the most appropriate use of those funds.
And Ann, did you say you had something to add?
No, just at the end of the hearing, I'll have you sign some
all
documents
right.
indicating that that's what your plan is.
All right. Did we want Joe to explain this any further, or
I
to,
think so.
yeah? Joe, do you want to just
And
tell
again,
us?
just a reminder that we do have these funds. We have saved for this. It's just they're in capital reserves, and we need to unlock them from capital reserves.
Okay.
Joe?
Maybe you could just come up and tell people what it is you're thinking of doing here and how it will help your department.
So it's an excavator with rubber tires, so we can move it around freely without trailering it. And it's designed to do ditching and culverts and.
How did this come up? I remember, I know you've told us, but I want you to explain for the.
Because we work with the state and all our different vendors. I was approached, the state is returning a lease from another town. So it's got less, it'll have about 2,000 hours on it. So 2014, so, and Chadwick Bayross does all the maintenance on it, so it's been kept up.
Mhm.
So the reason for buying it now is because I was approached first, there's a waiting line.
Mhm.
So I just was in the right place at the right time.
All right.
So if you were to buy this machine new, it'd be over,
300.
it'd be around 300,000.
And so it's an off-lease machine that the state's been using?
Correct.
And could you just sort of summarize how you think that'll help with, your work in the town?
Well, we rent the same machine basically every year we pay $5,000 for just 1 month. And in that 1 month, we get done what we could do with the backhoe, which would take 3+ months. And you get a better job, and plus we'll be able to do more of our own culverts now with that machine and hiring it out.
So you need it for, I mean, you can use it effectively for more than 1 month of the year.
Oh, yeah, that would be, other than the winter services, we'll be using it all summer.
Yeah, and you think will it enable you to avoid having to hire other people to do things that?
Yeah, correct. I mean, we can do a lot more culverts than hiring them out. I mean, we'll have to do some, but we'll do a lot more ourselves, a lot more work ourselves. So it'll greatly improve the town.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right, well, thanks. Thanks, Joe, appreciate it. Any other public or other comment?
Now, outside of the fact that we'll use it up at Snowy Gable property and behind the recycling center, the 25 acres that we have up there,
Yeah.
we've had jobs in the past that we haven't even done because of the cost that an excavator and
Well, I
operator was gonna
don't
take.
know if it'll work for it, but I know that, when we were talking about the possibility of putting in that solar field,
Yeah.
one of the issues was
Stumping.
stumping and just, site preparation that we couldn't even afford to
Our backhoe
consider.
wasn't big enough.
Yeah, so it might help with something, I don't know if it'll help with that particular, but something like that
Well,
possibly.
we kind of had that discussion too at the Energy Commission meeting, which I would say during our,
Uh-huh.
but I guess the deal is you probably, how can that be used?
Joe?
Can that be used for stumping, like a acre of property or something, or is it better to get like a bulldozer in there or what?
Well, I mean, it's got a blade on it, but it's not designed, I mean, it's more for ditching and cleanup. I mean, it can do other things, but
Does
It's
does
not
it
the
have a
most-
thumb, Joe?
yes. Yes, and that's a huge advantage for us because our machines don't have it, so we can be able to pick up rocks.
And for a lot of those small trees in there, that would
Right.
probably be adequate to
Yep.
just pluck them.
Brush.
So that probably would save us
Sorry,
a lot.
if we can grab it and it has a thumb, I wasn't sure if it had a thumb.
Right.
We don't have the grabbing capabilities right now.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, that'd be good news for that project.
Yeah.
Depends upon how much time we can spend on that, but.
All right, well, if there's no other comment, I'll close the public hearing at 6:23, I guess it is. And I guess just with the reminder that there is going to be a special town meeting for this purpose on January 18th at 6 o'clock. And that's gonna be here also. All right? I think the other item on here is committee reports. None? I know you have one. 'cause
I
you
got
already
plenty.
said something.
Well, just, we did participate in the holiday parade,
Yes.
yes, so just want to get out there.
Sort of at the last minute, but we did.
No, we planned it for months. So I think, and we also had a planning board meeting last Thursday, and we went over definitions of, some definitions that we wanted to change to do some cleanup. And we also had a gentleman from North Country Council there to talk about the master plan. And we also went to a PERLAC meeting, Pemmon Jawassa River Local Advisory Commission. And the outcome of that was that the focus is on Northern Pass responses we looked at the responses that were done by the SEC for PERLAC submission. And now we have to prepare further testimony, as the town of Plymouth did as well, to respond to the industry's questions after we submitted our testimony. So that took up most of the meeting. And we also had an Energy Commission meeting where we discussed the fact of zeroing in on the PV array project that was discussed in previous years. And I guess part of that discussion is to approach the company that came in with an RFI. I guess it was Revision,
I think so,
and
yeah.
and just see if they're still in the ballpark as far as whether they want to keep on going with this project, and maybe scoping it a little bit larger than it was last time. But in any event, at least that's kind of got some forward momentum.
Is there still, incentive money available for that, or?
No, I think, that was
The
when the
co-op,
co-op
yeah.
did it, but I think that went away.
They had a cap, I think, that they had to subsidize.
And that money, I think, is gone. We're no longer a co-op, entity. We don't buy our energy from the
that's true.
co-op. So I don't think it would have mattered one way or the other at this point. And so I guess one of the focuses of this is to make sure that, it's at least a wash, or we'll be better off doing PV versus the current contract we have with, I think, Constellation. And they have a very competitive rate, so, we'd have to come in at least that low to make this work, so.
So the idea is to install the thing without any real incentives or tax breaks, which we wouldn't benefit from anyway, I guess.
Right.
And you really have to compete with utility now, pretty much dollar for dollar, or watt for watt.
Yeah, what they'd come in with, they basically spec out a, power purchase agreement, and that's so that we would just pay at a certain rate for 25 years. After that, we own the whole array.
So the power purchase agreement is something that we would enter into with a private company, like maybe this Revision or what it
Right.
is, and then if there are tax credits or tax incentives of some kind, they would get
Yeah.
them, and that might lower the rate
Right.
somewhat, yeah, okay.
Anyway, there's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
forward movement on that.
interesting.
Yep.
Mike, did you have?
Yeah, the Chamber, Central Hampshire Chamber did not meet in December, but will be meeting in January.
Okay. And, I don't have anything, is there any public comment tonight?
Yes, I have two. One, I think for this public hearing for January, it might be beneficial if they had some kind of a picture of this machine, because unless people are associated or aware of equipment, the words you're using have no meaning.
Sure, that
And
makes sense.
second, I tried to attend the Energy Commission meeting, and I went downstairs, I went up here, there's, and then the people in the office tried to find out what their schedule is, when they're supposed to meet, and no phone numbers, no means of contact. There's nothing on the bulletin board. So I don't know when the meeting went off, but I left at 6:30 or 7, and there was nobody here, so I don't, it might be something they consider to get posted.
I agree with you, actually. I'm on the committee, and or the commission, rather. And generally, first of all, we've gone through a new chair. And I agree with you as far as like, I've missed meetings. And I don't think it's posted on the town site.
It isn't.
And, so that was like an issue we brought up, and the fact that they're basically getting themselves off their feet again, for, after kind of like a hiatus, they're basically renewing their focus and doing a really good job. But we have a new commission chair, who I think will kind of like be very, I guess, good about announcing, meetings and getting it on the town website, and so I think we're going to be there for the next meeting.
Okay.
Now, I wish I knew what the next meeting was. And it started, I think, at 6:30 too, so you may have just missed it.
Okay, well, like I said, they should, if they're a commission and they're a body that's assembled to,
Yeah.
on behalf of people, you should get something noted, on the bulletin board, allow people, citizens to come in and see how they can get connected to them and see
Yep.
what's going on.
True.
Good point. Thank you, Frank. I'm sure they will do that.
Yep. Just wondering if I have it.
You looking for the,
Well, I'll see if I can put it on my calendar.
you looking for the next meeting?
Oh, yeah.
And my last public
Yes, Frank.
comment is I'd like to wish the Board of Selectmen a Merry Christmas. And since this is the last meeting for this year, it's been a very good year on meetings. And thank you for your time and effort being a select
We would
body.
like to wish the public a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you.
That was very nice of you. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Do we have any non-public business to discuss? If not, I think we're ready for a motion to adjourn, unless you've got that.
No, let's talk. Nope. Be sure, I'll definitely find it out and get it to your attention too.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
John, second.
Second.
Mike, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.
And the public.